2, 1. What's up,
What's up?
boys in Japan?
It's your boy. Here's another boy.
In Japan!
In Japan. Here we
And
are.
we're making this podcast because we want to talk about languages, living in Japan, anything.
Yeah. Anything in that realm. Mainly languages was
Any languages.
the what do you call it? The kikkake for this whole,
Kikake. Yeah.
this whole thing.
So, I'm Dylan,
I'm Justin.
and we live here in Japan. We both enjoy studying languages as a hobby, interested in different cultures. So, today what we want to talk about is why we've started studying different languages.
Yeah. Kind of journey, reasons, backstories, all that good stuff.
始めましょう. Let's start.
So
Today,
first.
yes, on the agenda, why don't we start with backstory? Where we come from? Why are we here?
Where are we from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so
Dylan.
yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm originally from California in America, and I started studying languages for fun. Well, just with Spanish in high school, as most American kids do. 10 years ago now, in 2015, and I really enjoyed it from the beginning, and homework was homework and everything, but I just liked the way Spanish was, and I enjoyed puzzles and stuff like that. So even like when I was at home playing video games or drawing, I'd have Spanish like movies, like Disney movies on in the background and stuff, and I just enjoyed it a lot. And I really wanted to move to a Spanish-speaking country, like for study abroad or something like that, but pandemic, one thing led to another, wasn't able to. And then my university was a quarter school, so I decided I would try studying abroad in Japan, and decided from that day, sometime in July 2021, to start studying Japanese, because I better speak a bit if I'm going to Japan. And here we are, just over 4 years later now. And so that I studied pretty hard, especially kanji a lot at first, and then over my last year of university I made some Korean friends, and now my girlfriend is Korean, so I've been studying Korean a bit slowly. Most of my focus is on Japanese because I live here, but I've been studying Korean for about a year and a half now, and I'm finally starting to take more steps with my Korean. Just those three for me, and other languages I'm interested in afterward, if there is ever an after.
There will be.
Probably Vietnamese, Mandarin Chinese, or God willing, something Western, more Western or Latin based. How about you, Justin?
I was just gonna say, I always forget how recently you started Japanese.
Yeah.
Because you have come, you're so good for how short you've been studying.
Yeah.
So, because I always I always feel like you're, like around my level, and so I'm like, he's been in this for the long haul. But then I'm like, oh wait, right, you started like COVID. That's insane. So yeah, ganbatta ne. You did good.
Ganbatte.
So I'm Justin. I am originally from Mississippi in the States. I started my language journey, I guess, with French class in high school, because we only had the choice of Spanish and French, and so everybody was taking Spanish. I didn't want to be like everybody, so I chose French instead. And then that was the catalyst for my journey, because I met a guy in my French class who was half Japanese, studying Japanese from his grandma. And then one day I'm in French class and I see him writing hiragana on his notebook, and I'm like, what is that? And so that was kind of what got me started with Japanese. But then I learned how to write a few kanji, and then it got hard, and I quit for like a year or so. And then, just one day I was like, what was that language thing I was studying back in the day? And then I started picking it up. And grinded pretty hard on that. I was living with my grandma. Didn't have great internet, so just...
What year was this?
2015. That's when I...
Dang.
That's when
I see.
That's when I got serious about it. So yeah, did that for a little while. Studied what is it called? Dokugaku. Studied by myself for 2 years. Went to college for 2 years. went to 2015 to 2017. Study abroad for 1 year. Came back and was just waiting to do more Japanese and get back into like
Rhythm.
rhythm.
That's actually really interesting to me, and I guess that kind of on again, off again is pretty normal with languages.
That's what I've come to
But
realize.
I just realized that now. I've never let up on Japanese. Like, there's been times where I've studied a little harder than others, but I've never taken a break.
Really?
I mean, since moving here, I mean, I don't do much specific listening practice because I figure work every day is good enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never had a thought of I need to get back to Japanese because in these 4 years I've never taken a break, which I just is kind of crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, because you've had a compelling reason this whole time.
Yeah. Pedal. It was like fire underneath me the entire
Yeah,
time.
right.
Even Spanish, like until. I mean, it wasn't as like pedal to the metal, but it was like more a consistent burn until I went to university, and then it switched more to like just conversation with my roommate, and then like I just kind of stopped. Like I never started. I think I studied Spanish as far as I could go, other than getting into like dialects.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Interesting.
But yeah, COVID kind of threw a wrench in my gears. I had just gotten back from Japan for my year abroad. COVID hit. I was signed up for the JET program, and I got accepted, and I was waiting, and then it got delayed, and I was like, all right, blah, blah, blah. So Japanese kind of left the forefront of my mind for a little while because I was trying to work. But yeah, but during that year abroad, made some Korean friends, and then I realized, oh, wow, Korean sounds really cool. So I just wanted to start learning Korean. I attended a few like beginner classes here and there, got the basics like na는, 배고파, things like that, like really simple. Yeah, that was kind of. And then I'm studying Swedish, but I feel like that's a phony line. I study very, very infrequently.
Side quest.
Side quest, yeah.
Side quest.
That's another one just because it sounds cool.
Yeah. I want to make another note. Reason I got into Japanese was I had actually watched anime since 2012. I got into it, but it never occurred to me to like study Japanese. And I think by the time I started formally studying Japanese and whatever, like 9 years after that, the only words I picked up from anime were like sugoi and nani.
That's funny you mentioned that. So my Japanese friend that kind of in that French class, he showed me anime. I had never like, I didn't know anime. I thought it was just, I knew about Dragon Ball and One Piece. But then he showed me, what was it? Some other show, but then he showed me Angel Beats, Clanad, like the slice of life, that category. Classics. And then I started picking up words like wakata and yokata, and I was like, and I would look at the subtitles and like start drawing those like connections in my mind.
That's interesting. So, where would you say your level is with each of your languages? Briefly.
French. Dead. I can understand a little bit if you speak to me, but it's gotta be slow. Japanese, fairly advanced. Currently working on my reading speed and like general vocabulary. Korean, beginner. I can say some things, I can converse, but it's very slow and problematic. I can order food. And then Swedish, literally just, I live here. I am this, but very, very, very basic. What about you?
Let's see. Spanish, I would have used to say it was advanced. Like when I was studying and practicing all the time, I reached a level I could talk about like environmental problems and stuff like that and understand anything I wanted to, say almost anything I wanted to. I'm a bit rusty now. I think I could still read with no problem, but if I wanted to converse, it would take some practice.
Yeah.
But I'd get back to it. Japanese is a tough one to crack, for sure. My reading, I think, is my strong suit. I enjoy reading novels in Japanese, and I've seen my reading speed go from like 3 pages an hour to like 15 pages an hour in light novels in just like a year of practice.
Yeah, your tenacity with reading is impressive.
I just enjoy reading.
Even in English, I see you just blasting through
Yeah.
books, so.
And so my goal is to be able to read, books aimed at young adults at relatively normalish speeds. I mean, it's never going to be the speed of English, but
Yeah.
I want to be, 15 to 20 pages an hour so that I can like get through a book within a week would be great. And I also want to get my writing to like a high school to early college-ish level would be great. Speaking, I mean, native level conversation is so difficult to follow, and I'm working. That's just a day by day.
Yeah.
Korean, I would say I'm probably a little farther than you in Korean. What I enjoy in Korean is typing, because if you guys don't know, Japanese you can just type out in Romaji. So you type out the Japanese sounds using English letters, and it's pretty easy. But Korean, maybe you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I only have English and Japanese keyboards around. I don't have a Korean keyboard that's labeled with the Korean keys. So I memorized all the Korean key positions, and for fun at work, the same way I practice writing with my right... I'm left-handed. The same way I practice writing with my right hand for fun, I type in Korean for fun. Because eventually if I live in Korea, well, typing's going to be an important skill. So better start them now. Other than that, very basic conversation. Like I can introduce myself, I can order food, and I understand a decent amount. I think having a base in Japanese helps a ton. But my lack of vocabulary, like Korean grammar is easy because of Japanese, but lack of vocabulary is definitely
I feel like
my bottleneck right now.
just from like the bits and pieces like I've gotten from my studies, my periodic studies, like I understand more Korean than I realize. I think especially with you always getting it from your girlfriend, like
Yeah.
So the understanding of Japanese really helps.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say my goals for language is Spanish. Just enjoy. If I ever I want to just be able to hold a conversation, and I have a couple novels in my house, so I just want to read those for fun. It's not really an active language because I'm studying on Japanese. I think I said I want to read at an adult level, and Korean. I want to reach good conversation ability. Like I want to reach like, for lack of better comparison, upper N4, mid-range N3 if it were Korean. Every day.
I think that's...
Yeah. And eventually read books because I enjoy reading.
Is that like a near term? Closer?
Conversation would hopefully be within this year, maybe early next year. Reading at a decent, at like a middle schoolish level, a year and a half to 2 years out. Well, I mean, Korean's a heck of a lot easier to read than Japanese, because Japanese you have to put in all the work up front to learn kanji, and even then it's really difficult because you can't just sound out kanji. So like, but Korean you can, it's a lot more like English where you can sound it out and you can recognize word shapes. So like once you get going, it's a bit better. But
Korean, like the learning curve is like very low, very not steep. But with Japanese, like you have to build a foundation and you have to learn enough that you have years. It's been years getting a sense for the kanji.
Yeah.
But then once you do, then you really pick up speed.
Like guys, like kanji, once you know it, it makes things way easier. One
problem I keep having with studying Korean is there's no kanji.
So it's that the meaning can be ambiguous a lot of times.
Because you can read it, sure, but there's I don't know enough, I guess, to draw conclusions or.
Well, many kanjis can have, or many. There can be. Wait, what is this? There can be many
kanji for one pronunciation.
Yes, many kanji for one pronunciation.
Yeah.
So having the kanji helps a lot, but
I think it's because I know there's kanji there. They're just in the background. They're not on the front. So I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
It's like.
So what are your goals?
My goals. Japanese. I would like. This is my goal throughout my life. I want to be able to write. Eventually, maybe write a book. I don't know.
That would be sick.
That would be so cool. But not just to write a book to do that, but like I want to be able to express, complex thoughts, feelings, scenarios, descriptions. Like I want to be able to just be able to flesh out a setting in Japanese.
Do you ever write journals or anything?
Yeah, sometimes. But I need to get feedback on them because
Yeah.
that's the problem. Because I'm really looking for like a class that will kind of help me with that. But I also want to be able to have more fluid conversations and be able to explain myself and my stance on things better. I feel like I can handle it okay, but eventually I'll hit
Once
a
it
point.
gets into the weeds.
Once you get into the weeds, then I start thinking too much about the way I'm saying things because, like in English, when you're describing maybe your opinion on something, you don't want to say it a certain way because then it sounds harsh or
Yeah.
maybe insensitive. So
In
also
Japanese, it has to be so much is implied.
so
you
much,
know?
yeah. So I'm gonna be careful with what you're implying. So I want more fluid conversations. Obviously more higher reading speed. I want to just be able to not have to look up words when I'm reading.
Oh, I wanted to say something about reading
Mhm.
speed. I started watching a Korean drama on Netflix this week. I forgot the Japanese name, but I think in English it said Friendly Rivalry, and in Korean, Sani Kyungjang or something like that. I don't know, but being in Japan, Japanese servers, I could use a VPN, but on the normal Japanese Netflix, there's only Japanese subtitles. And so I've been trying to watch the show in Korean with Japanese subtitles, and at first I was just like, well, shoganai, shikatanai, I just have to do it. But then I realized my reading was getting, because you were trying to develop that app where it just flashed words on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
This is like that. It's just like that.
Is my thing pointless?
No, but
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, wait a second, this is like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm actually watching at the same time as my girlfriend, and like because we're synced up, I can't just go rewind things.
Mhm.
So I'm like just forced to like,
Keep
I
up.
can't just read it out loud in my head. I gotta glance at the kanji and catch a meaning. And I feel like doing that long enough,
Mhm.
it will really start to click things.
That was
like, oh.
exactly the point of the app I'm making. Was to do that. Maybe I should just.
Well, it's pretty limited if you're limited to just like, well, Japanese subtitles, you can use it for anything, but
That's what I'm saying.
then it has to be, you wouldn't want the audio to be in Japanese though, because then you're just getting most of the meaning from listening.
Yeah. This was mainly for reading.
Right. So I think
No.
your goal,
I'm on to something.
yes, you're definitely onto
Maybe
something. I think this is
else.
like a prototype, because like if you're
Yeah.
limited to audio you don't understand and then having Japanese subtitles available, it's pretty
Yes.
limited, right?
What I wanted to say about this was it makes you rely on Japanese. And so
Yeah.
when you're listening to Japanese and you have Japanese subtitles, like you said, you're listening and you have your two crutches. But when you're listening to something you don't understand and your crutch is in not your native language, you really start to like, I don't know how to describe this, but like trust it more or trust
Yeah.
yourself with what you're getting.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been feeling.
Mhm.
I have a side question for you.
Mm.
Related to that. Do you think Japanese is an easy or difficult spoken language?
Easy or difficult?
Yeah, which do you think?
Spoke? Maybe easy.
I think Japanese is a really easy spoken language.
If I had to pick easy or hard, it's easy.
I think the writing and reading is insane, but especially compared to Korean, Japanese is way easier to speak, I think.
Oh yes, yeah. The amount of sounds is fewer. It's easier
Yeah.
to. I mean, obviously,
I think all around,
Mhm.
Japanese is really flexible, and once you get a handle on the rules,
Mm.
yeah. Anyways.
Oh wait, Swedish. My goals. Just wanna be able to read some books, play some games, because Sweden has some sick lore, history, but also like their fairy tales and things
Mm.
are really. I like horror and scary stuff, so they have a lot of really interesting, creepy things.
That actually reminds me, a big reason I got into Japanese, was because I enjoy like reading light novels, but the English translations are always like usually a year behind the Japanese source. And I thought, wow, it would be no problem if I could just read in the native Japanese, because then I could get them as soon as they come out. Well, 4 years later, that goal is still a work. Even working on reading really hard the entire time, that goal is still very much work in progress.
Yeah, you get there before you realize it.
Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So next topic: experience of that we get from speaking languages other than English.
So how long you been studying other languages?
10 years.
10 years. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm saying here.
Yeah. So I think it's really interesting because you can only like language is a huge part of a place's culture, right? And a lot of things in the language are built around how the people there see the world. For example, Japanese has a lot of things for ambiguity, vagueness, politeness built in that comes from living in a small country with many natural disasters. Or there's like some countries in the Middle East, or like Eastern Asia, where time is not considered linear but circular.
Yes.
And so their words for time would not mirror English words for time at all.
You have to learn a new
So
concept.
you can only fully understand a culture if you know their language, or you at least get
Yeah.
behind their language a bit.
Like the language shapes the culture, and the culture shapes the language.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's like really, I think, easy to go English to Spanish because it's relatively similar. But English to Japanese is like there's not really a matchup
It's not always a.
for like many things. But in Japanese to Korean, it's nearly 1-to-1. Not quite, but
Not quite, yeah, but pretty close.
yeah, I just think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's especially with like our concept of what's implied in English is not the same in Japanese. So in English, you need a lot of like words for things, whereas in Japanese, those things are just obvious, implied, so you don't need to say them.
Yeah,
So, especially for beginners, figuring out what doesn't need to be said in Japanese, that was a big thing. Beginners tend to say too many words.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was.
Dude, the hardest thing, and especially because this is different in Japanese and Korean, is knowing when to use watashi and when not to. When can you leave it in and when can you put it in?
That's the difference between Korean and Japanese.
Yeah,
like
you need
said,
it a lot more in Korean,
Yeah.
but there are still times in Korean when you don't need it, and they're like different times than in Japanese.
I know. Because in Japanese, you have an I maybe 3 times in that conversation, maybe.
Yeah,
And in Korean, it's like kind of like English. Where you
almost
can-
every sentence.
Yeah, you can say it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a, I don't know, wrench in the
Yeah.
gears from what I've learned.
Another thing is, coming as a native English speaker, how much time it's taken to improve in each language. Well, Spanish was really easy. I mean, I don't know how many hours I put into Spanish, but studied for 4 years, I guess, in school. Not that much. Like I've definitely put at least twice the number of hours into Japanese. And my Spanish is still better.
That's insane.
In most regards, I think I'd be more confident in a wider variety of daily situations in Japanese, just because I've lived here. But I'd be more confident in reading a book, like comprehension. Reading a book, Spanish is still way better, I think.
That's
But
wild.
but then
Oh.
learning Korean has been, especially compared to Japanese. I mean, if you count for not having kanji in Korean, I still think I'm learning Korean way faster than I learned Japanese.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty similar. If I learned Korean first, it would have taken a long time, and then Japanese second, much shorter time, I think.
Right, you have a blueprint.
Yeah. What do you think?
No, yeah, same here. Yeah, like I said about Korean, like I know there's kanji, so at first it was a little like vexing that I can't see them, so I'm having to think about what they are. But if you just forget about kanji, just take the language as it is, then it's kind of like English, where you just learn to recognize the pattern or groups of letters.
At least it has mostly more
Words, as they
regular. At least Korean follows the rules more than English does.
It does. That's the thing.
There
about-
is rule breaking with those ancient Korean words, but it's nothing like English.
I will say with Japanese and Korean, because I studied French for 4 years, and it's the same in Spanish, I think, where there's endless exceptions to rules. Where in Japanese, I can probably count on 2 hands the verb exceptions. Most common
Suru
verb
and kuru.
exceptions. Suru, kuru, kaeru. You could make a small list in 5 minutes of the exceptions
In Japanese.
in Japanese, and everything else follows the rules, and it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
One thing about Japanese is it just feels logical. It just makes sense.
It does. Hence, Very easy to speak.
Easy to speak, yes.
So, next topic. Why do we enjoy languages as a hobby? Justin, why do you enjoy?
It's so satisfying. If you like solving puzzles, if you like just feeling yourself level up, that is just so...
Yes. Every once in a while, you're like, wow, I couldn't do that a week ago.
Right, there's no da-dun, like when you do it, but you'll notice after the fact.
Yeah.
And it feels so good. You're like, well, 'cause even with the Swedish, I've studied maybe 9 hours of Swedish total, and I've seen myself like start to recognize things, even just hearing. I'm like, oh, it's happening. It's happening. But because in a video game, you're in level 1. There's a locked door. You gotta go fight a little dude, get a key, and you unlock the door. You go in, now there's 2 doors. That's what language learning feels like. It's like...
That's such a good analogy.
Is it? Right, because you learn how to say des, and you learn how to say nani nani ga aru, and then now your world is expanding, and it keeps going.
Language learning is seriously like an RPG.
It is.
You choose what to level up.
Yeah, you choose where to...
Other stuff levels up passively without you realizing it, bit by bit.
Yep.
We should make a whole episode on that.
We're gonna do it, we're gonna talk about it. But
Language
also...
learning is an RPG.
So, this is a reference I made because I was just thinking about why I like things one day. And, for me, learning language, like... This is for everybody, I guess, but, like, something I recognized was when you learn a second language, you're not learning new concepts most of the time. You're taking concepts you already know, like work, dog, birth, like weird, just random.
Yeah.
You know what those things are, and so now you're just learning a new way to represent them. And so, when you think about it that way, it doesn't sound so difficult. You're like, oh, I just need to learn a new way to express it. And so I kind of like connected this to skateboarding, because in skateboarding I like to do I am like regular, which means my left foot is in front, but you can also do tricks the opposite of your normal stance. And you're doing the exact same trick, but you have to teach your brain that your foot is doing the opposite of the normal one. And like, I don't know. You can learn all your tricks, and then you can relearn them in the opposite stance. And
I have the
it has that same click.
I have the same analogy, but like using programming. You learn one programming language, and it's like, your functions and variables, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then when you want to learn a new language, for the most part, you'll have the same concepts, just different philosophies about them. And so you have to learn that language's way of doing it.
Exactly.
And like you can always try and force like the Python way of doing things in C++, but you could just do it in the C++ way.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they have a function that
and
Python doesn't have.
Language I think is very much like that.
It is.
And even like there's different families of programming languages. Like there's functional programming languages, procedural languages. And so that's like going from Western to Asian, like that as well. Yeah. I enjoy language because, well, like you said, puzzle, challenge, good brain workout. Well, I think, as I explained earlier, language is really tightly tied to culture and just understanding different cultures. Like, I was reading some Yukio Mishima books back in English, back before I studied any Japanese, and I couldn't understand why they described room sizes in terms of number of mats. What the heck is a mat? Like, what is this? Well, it turns out tatami mats, number of tatami mats for that room size. I looked it up, and the more I learned, the more interested I got. And also, like I said, I enjoy consuming media in its original language. Like, now manga and Japanese novels, and like having read novels in Japanese and English now, you can get a lot across when you translate, but obviously people in America don't understand a lot about, like I said, the floor mats, or how you take your shoes off when you enter the house in Japan, and stuff like that. So it makes a lot more sense when you read it.
It does. So the book. So I'm reading this book he's lending me called Mata Onaji Yume o Miteita. And it follows this story. It follows this girl, and she's like an elementary schooler, and she's blah blah blah. But there's so many things that I wouldn't understand how she feels about these things if I weren't working in a school here in Japan.
And
And yeah, so I could read the language even if I could read Japanese, but if I didn't know that
have that cultural background, that
yeah,
context.
I wouldn't understand the depth of it.
Yeah, definitely.
But the people you meet through language learning,
Oh yeah.
there's international communities, internationally minded people.
Yeah.
Been some of the most,
It's crazy.
some of the best people I've ever met
Yeah.
in my life. Just
Yeah.
they're so, I don't know, interesting.
I think,
Yeah.
especially like where we come from, America, many people haven't been abroad.
Mm.
Many people don't have. Seems like many people don't have interest in going abroad, which fair. The U.S. itself is huge. You could travel the entire country, and you know it feels like going to different countries. So
Yeah.
fair, but I think it's personally. I think it's important to experience things from a different country's perspective.
Mm.
I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm saying you should do it so that you can make some sort of maybe educated decision about what you like. Because maybe there's some stuff that you like better about a different country. Maybe there's some stuff that you like better about America. But I don't think you should or can decide that until you've gone and experienced something else.
There are definitely things about America I appreciate now that I've lived here. I've gone back and forth a
Yeah.
couple times, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of like blah blah blah.
For example,
Part of America.
that's small talk.
The way you can just like
When you talk to a cashier,
yeah, the way you can talk to a stranger so openly and easily.
well, yeah, when you're traveling at a national park and say, "Hey, where you heading today?" Like,
But you
where you
can
go?
do that in Japan, but
They're like, "Why are you talking to me? What do you want?"
the chance of someone it turning into a fun conversation is lower.
Yeah.
Media in its original language.
Yeah.
So something I've just heard in the community between me and my friends and other people is just, you know, Japanese hits different. When you're reading something and you get it, like, it could be the same word we have a concept for in English, but for some reason the Japanese one just sounds different. It sounds heavier. It sounds,
Mm.
yeah, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but there are some words you just hear it in Japanese and you're like, wow. Just, I don't know, just
Yeah.
the feel of it is nice.
Well, I don't know. I guess kind of like the difference between "you worked hard today" and "otsukare-sama desu."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know when someone says "otsukare-sama desu," it's they're like, "Good work." Like
Yeah, good job.
that was, I can tell that was hard.
Yeah.
Nice job working on that. In English, it's like, "Good work."
Yeah, good work.
It's kind of light
Yeah.
feeling, or like, yeah, you know.
Sean mentioned something, and we were talking about it, and he was like, just hits different in Japanese. I'm trying to remember what it was, but
Of course, I think it goes without saying, you know, there are words in Japanese that we just don't have in English.
Mm.
For example, I have a Spanish example that they use in Spain, I believe. Don't come hunt me down if I'm wrong about this, but the word la sobremesa. Sobremesa.
La sobre.
Yeah, sobre, you know, above, and mesa, table. What do you think it means?
Above table. Is that
La,
what
so-
translates?
no, la sobremesa.
Above table. Food? Dinner.
No, so it's close. La sobremesa is the talk that you have around the table after your meal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you're all just sitting around after the meal, you know, maybe drinking a glass of wine or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no good way to say that in English.
Yeah,
Spanish is full of those, man.
yeah. Maybe because, like, you know, that's just, maybe it's a common thing
Yeah,
in Spanish-speaking countries. And so that's just a concept they refer to.
it's just a one-worder.
One-worder, yeah.
Yeah. Mm. So, how do you feel when you talk to native speakers in Japanese now?
I feel now I've been here for a year. I feel like I can, at the very least, catch the gist of what they're saying and what they're talking about. Most of the time, I get the details, but a lot of when the conversation is directed away from me and towards another Japanese person, I lose it. I start losing comprehension because they just, you know, have native
Yeah.
magic. They just start
Native magic.
because they don't slow down for each other and they know
Yeah.
what each other is implying or not saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
Well, we do the same thing in English, though.
I know.
Yeah.
But like when you think you know Japanese and they're speaking Japanese to you But when you're speaking to someone and you know it's not their native language, you kind of subconsciously tone it down a bit.
Dude, there's one girl at work who does not hold back on me.
And I appreciate those
Full
people.
komatsu ben, and to her only, I gotta say, huh? What? Huh? Like 5 times before I get the word nakunatta. Or like orankunatta the other day. Yeah, I was like, huh?
I have 2 old ladies at my job. And yeah, I appreciate them because they don't slow down for me, but boy, it's like I sweat when I'm listening to them. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
here's another question for you. To what degree have words from other languages permeated into your English?
To what degree? Yeah, there's just words here and there that kind of, I feel like I use them more in Japanese, so I don't always remember the English word. Like kikkake, when I started this podcast, I immediately, I still can't remember. Catalyst, maybe? The spark, whatever. But yeah, things like that. Just words I use more.
Yeah. I think studying other languages have affected not only my English, but my other languages as well. Like, for example, I had a Mexican roommate in college, and we studied, or for 3 years, and he helped me practice Spanish.
Oh, that's such
Like
a
nearly
nice
every
story.
day for 3 years, and like I had a bit of a Mexican accent. I was getting the dialect, and now after speaking Japanese for 2 years, my Spanish accent has turned to Japanese. And also in Korean, my girlfriend tells me that my accent in Korean is not so American, but Japanese. And also those words have like from other languages have entered my English. Like Spanish, not so much. I never use Spanish, but when I speak Spanish, a lot of words from Japanese get entered in actually. But now when I speak English, like it's not uncommon for even when my girlfriend and I talk. She doesn't know Japanese. She just knows English and Korean. But when us two talk, our sentences often involve English, Japanese, and Korean words in like the same sentence or same 2 sentences. And have you experienced that?
I was gonna say when I do try to speak French, which is occasionally because I have a couple French friends. Yeah, it's been so long since I've used French, so I remember some of the words, but my brain puts them in Japanese sentence order.
Oh,
So like,
jeez.
it's hard to remember how to speak French properly, but
You know,
yeah, because in my brain I feel like I have an English area, and then everything else is in its one area called not English. And I've spent the most time with Japanese, so everything kind of falls in line with Japanese.
There's like the English mode and the non-English mode,
Non-English mode.
and when you're non-English mode, it all just gets
Yeah, it's not English,
compiled.
Japanese, French.
No.
It's not English.
You know,
It's
my girlfriend even told me I was sleep talking in Japanese the other day.
really.
Although I don't dream in Japanese, but I was sleep talking it.
What?
That's crazy, right?
Have you had a dream in Japanese?
Probably a couple times, but not regularly.
Mm.
I do have a funny story though. So a couple months ago, I was gonna fly home to visit my family in America, and my mom was asking me about my route home, flight wise, and I go, oh yeah, like, I'm not starting from, I'm not taking the train to Tokyo. I have to take and this is a reenactment here. I have to take an inside country flight, and she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, inside country, and she goes, you mean domestic? And I go, oh yeah, domestic. Like, I'd forgotten the English word, and not only did my brain didn't insert the Japanese word, it inserted the English translation of the kanji for domestic.
Yeah.
Kokunai,
Uh-huh.
inside, a country inside country. And that was the first, especially right before I went home, I was having more and more instances where I couldn't remember basic English words.
Yes.
And I think my point here is my English these days feels a lot less like a native language and more just like a highly, highly proficient second language because I forget words and I have to second guess how to say things correctly.
I second guess myself all the time.
Like when I'm writing something or when I'm talking to people in English, I have to like think about the proper way to word things and the order and what word to get. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, my ability to just output English without thinking It's just gone down.
When I'm in Japan. Well, when I go to America, like, it came back in like a day or two.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was basically native in English in like a day or two.
Oh,
again,
yeah,
but-
you switch back over.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Dude, when I came back from study abroad, I think it took me about 6 months to fully
they
stop second guessing myself and just be able to use words like that I would normally
Yeah.
forget.
I guess I was only like, casually visiting my family
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
bit, but that's crazy. I'm like, why is this happening
Yeah.
to me? But
It takes time. But I feel like we could get the opposite effect maybe with our Japanese. Maybe Japanese will become more fluid and natural, staying here longer and longer.
yeah,
Which is obvious, but
that's that.
but thinking on that same
Atarimae.
Yeah, yeah.
Atarimae.
But thinking in that same grain of like how your native language could kind of become rusty.
Yeah. Oh,
For
definitely.
a second, we would not. Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
All right, yeah.
So, any other thoughts on why you study?
Just the grind, never-ending grind. Love it. God, always feels like there's something I could improve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the studying never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my Japanese has reached end game-ish level. Where like I'm not really specifically studying Japanese anymore, but I think next time we'll talk about how we study, but
Yeah.
we'll tease with this. Yeah, these days like I don't really I mean I still review my kanji flashcards. Anki. But
Shout out.
my main way, the only way I really study or improve is, talk to coworkers at work.
Mhm.
And when I play video games, I try to play them in Japanese. And I read about a third of my books in Japanese. So it's just like getting more, living as a normal person would.
I agree. Yeah, just kind of input, just consuming native media. It's kind of been the process recently. There have been a few times recently though I sat down and just started doing the nitty-gritty study with kanji and like synonyms and things, and I'm like,
That's cool.
I'm excited.
I think if I study for N1, I'll have to get back into. Well, I have this like kanji dictionary with just a bunch of kanji words and really short definitions in Japanese. I'm just like reading through it for fun and noting down new words that I find, cool words that I find.
It just sounds insane reading the dictionary for fun. That's a joke, but like,
It does. It does.
No, it's yeah.
But yeah,
But after all these years, it's still fun.
it
Which
is.
It's so.
It's the crazy.
you
There's
could
always
master-
something new to do, right?
It's always something new. Yeah. If you have ADHD and you're like always bouncing from thing to thing, like this is perfect. You just stay within the language, and there's just always something to try out.
Yeah.
It's like what we said with the video game analogy. You got speaking, reading, writing, and listening.
Mm.
So there's always a different thing you could go work on.
Another tree, and sometimes you want to work on kanji.
Yep.
Sometimes you want to, where I still struggle is the onomatopoeia words.
Yeah.
There's infinite amount of those.
Yeah, those are. Living here, I think, is the best way to just absorb those.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then sometimes not even studying the language, but just talking about it, like this, just kind of.
Do you talking about it with someone else
Yeah.
coming from the same place?
We could put this in the next video where we talk about how, but like, community is huge.
Community.
Just having someone to like bounce things off of and kind of see the way others are doing things. No, okay, never.
Next time.
Next time.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this is a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
It's
sir.
fun. Yeah, we'll be
Fun.
back again. Hopefully next week.
Yeah, hopefully not too long.
Yeah, hopefully not too long from now. This has been Dylan and
Justin.
Boys in Japan.
Boys in Japan.
Peace.
It wasn't recording. No.
Oh yeah, I was gonna kill.